Hi guys, and welcome to this week's mentorship video. It's not going to be a long one. I'm just going to do a quick recap of what happened on Friday and what we should expect in the market this week. And yeah, I'm sure everyone can attest what happened on Friday was not the usual. It's not normal. Of course, it was there for everyone to see that markets were being manipulated since New York opened on Friday. The first hour of New York session on Friday, you could see that something was amiss, the way market was moving. So yeah, heading into this week, there's quite a few things that I would like to share with you guys, so that we are mostly on the same page. But first things first, we're going to look at the calendar. First things first. Now, a quick one. For those of you who would have missed, say, FOMC meeting, the minutes of it from, say, last Wednesday, we had FOMC. Yeah, last Wednesday, 27 and 28 Jan, we had FOMC. So you can get a report of the statement. You can get a link to watch the press conference where Powell was being questioned. And then here, the PDF, you can get the release, the press release for the FOMC meeting minutes. Then here you can get a link to the what? To the video where Powell was being asked questions regarding their forward guidance and all that stuff. So you can get that from the federalreserve.org website. It's a very good tool that you can use in your trading. Then you also have websites like budget.com. You have got Bloomberg. You see, normally what I normally do when I come to Bloomberg, I don't really focus much on the African edition. I focus on the US edition. The reason being that for those who are still new, right, you might not understand it, but the reason being that my main focus is on dollar. Dollar determines most of the analysis that I do, most of the decisions that I do in the markets. I need to understand the dollar, right? So budget.com and Bloomberg US edition, I use these websites to fade the main headline. What do I mean by fading the main headline? Most cases, what normally happens for most headlines that come out, they are more or less like to swing the uninformed traders to do the other way around, you see. So try to fade that. If they're saying gold is bullish, try to look for things that can make it gold bearish, you see. Not always, but try to use that as a tool for you when you're trading. So yeah, I thought I should share that with you guys, these three websites, the Fed, budget.com and Bloomberg.com. These are very powerful tools that you can use in your day trading, right? So we're going to look at the calendar to see what's coming this week. So we can say this week here, and main focus is going to be on dollar news and those other hard headlines from the other different 7 major economies, right? So we can see tomorrow, what do we have? We've got manufacturing PMIs, we've got ISM manufacturing PMI. That's a good day to trade, right? Say probably London session, New York session. This is a very good day to trade. You also have PMIs from European Union, countries like Germany, France, Italy. They all have their manufacturing PMIs coming out, right? So Monday is a very good day to trade up until Bostic speaks, right? And then Tuesday is also a very good day to trade, especially the Asian session. If you're going to look at assets like AUD, yen, NZD. It's gonna be a very good day. We also have RBA statement just before Asian close, right? 6:30 in the morning, right? And then during the rest of the day, we don't have that much. We only have job openings for USD. That's already at 5 p.m. towards lunchtime New York session. And then Wednesday, we've got PMIs again making headlines, right? And we've got ADP, the non-farm employment change. We've got Saves PMI from US. We've got S&P Global Composite. These are all hard headline fundamentals, right? These are fundamentals which you can trade, right? I'm not saying predict what number is going to come out, but you can trade once you see the number. I say, and how do you approach that kind of scenarios, right? Accumulation, redistribution, reaccumulation and redistribution. Once a fundamental comes out, there's always a chance that the market gives you to enter a position. Thursday you need to be cautious, right? It's the day before NFP, so you need to be cautious on Thursday. I'm not saying you mustn't trade, but be cautious of the movements in the market. Then Friday is a very good day to trade leading into NFP, right? It's a very good day to trade leading into NFP. So what am I saying? Trade focus on London session mainly, because NFP can come out hectic. You never know how it is going to pan out. So that's basically our calendar for this week, and it's quite an interesting calendar. It's a calendar that has got a lot of drivers that can move price, right? So now we're gonna go to our platforms, right? And first things first, we look at the long-term rates, right? Higher time frame wise, we're looking for we know dollar is gonna go lower, right? And I think I've done another focus video where I was focusing mainly on dollar index, and it has really moved massively to the downside. I wasn't expecting that much of a drop on dollar, but yes, Trump had other ideas, right? So looking at the long-term rates, take a glance of the 5-year yield, you take a glance of the 10-year yield, you take a glance of the 30-year yield, right? So you can basically see that the three long-term rates, they're all finding resistance inside these last up close candles here, right? So which last up close candles am I talking about? I'm talking about 1 and 2. You see, that's where price is finding resistance, where the liquidity grab right here the past 2 weeks, where liquidity grabs and market pushes to the downside, right? So that's crucial. You have to understand that kind of price action. You see, that's liquidity grab, right? That's a liquidity grab in market 10 to the downside. Liquidity grab way in premium. What premium, Ivan? Fair value gap, right? Where the fair value gap right there. Even though price filled it up here, but still it's sensitive. Price will be sensitive in terms of finding resistance. So that's the 5-year yield. Same thing. If you look at the 10-year yield, where is price finding resistance? Right inside these last up close candles here. You see these 2 green candles here before the expansion to the downside. Look how price is finding resistance. Same thing happened here, right? Last up close candle before the expansion, price finds resistance. That's a weekly candle. This is a weekly time frame, guys, and you can already see what we have in terms of the 10-year and the 5-year, right? 10-year did not create a new high last week, and 5-year created a new high, right? These are things that you have to be in a position to see and analyze. Just a sec. These are things that you should be in a position to see and analyze as you look at the market. So we can basically say the 5 and the 10-year, they are trading away from premium. Reason why we saw dollar moving to the downside quite fast, right? Dollar traded also into premium and moved to the downside. Then you look at 30-year, same thing. Look at this last up close candle here, which now becomes our bearish OB, right? A valid one for that matter, because it's accompanied by what? by inefficiency. It's accompanied by a fair value gap, right? So this is a bearish OB, right? Look, our price is sensitive to it. And also take note, the 10-year and the 30-year did not create a new high, meaning we have now a valid run off stop on the 5-year, right? That becomes a protected stop. So you won't be expecting the 5-year yields to trade above 3.88%. That's bearish, right? The 5-year have already engineered liquidity to go to the downside. Now, what does that information do to you? How does it help you as a trader? That's bearish for dollar, right? That's bearish for dollar. But from where? This is where now you have to define your premium areas on dollar. And we've got one. We've got this bearish order block here from last week. And this bearish order block is inside our higher time frame, I think 6-month fair value gap, if I'm not mistaken, right there. You see? No, not 6 months. Let me go. It should be 3 months. Yeah, this fair value gap right here, which we had here. That's where price formed this weekly bearish OB right there. Okay, let me get rid of this here. You see? So we've got this bearish OB accompanied by a fair value gap. Price ran stops below 93,300. So chances of market moving to the upside all the way to say 98.66 are quite high in the coming week, but that does not mean dollar is bullish. Take note, that does not mean dollar is staying bullish, but it also does not mean you cannot benefit from it. You see, if you know what you're doing, that's longs on USD CHF, USD CAD, and USD yen, right? But ultimately, once price reaches say 98 point what is this? Okay, let me mark this price action properly, guys. Let me mark it properly. So we've got a weekly bearish OB, right? This is our weekly bearish order block, which is inside a higher time frame PD array, right? And then we've got fair value gap, right? That's fair value gap. That's inefficiency that we have right here. That's inefficiency. That's our bearish fair value gap. And then we've got our bullish bearish OB. Sorry, that's a bearish OB, right? So you'll be anticipating price to trade into this range. Now that's the draw on liquidity. You expect market to trade inside there. Of course, we now have a protected stop to the downside, meaning chances of dollar recovering a bit in this coming week are quite high, right? Chances of a dollar recovery this week are quite high. Reason being that we've seen a very huge drop, right? So for this drop to continue, we need redistribution in fair value inside this fair value gap or up until the premium OB here, right? Which is the bearish order block. You see, that whole structure now defines how you're going to look at the market in this coming week. We could get a positive NFP, and that can be the catalyst to fill up that whole bearish fair value gap, right? And you can trade it, but ultimately you must remember that dollar is what? Dollar is bearish. Reason being what we have seen on the long-term yields, right? The long-term yields are giving us clear structure of market going to the downside. Now remember, correlation, dollar against the long-term yields, right? The long-term interest rates, 5, 10, and 30, they are positively correlated, right? Meaning dollar is bound to also move to the downside, right? So we're going to go on to the daily chart. Now this is the daily chart. Now this is Friday. What happened on Friday does not always happen. It's not a usual occurrence in the market, right? So we're probably going to see Monday. Monday might even gap to the upside to fill up this inefficiency here and trade into the what? Into the fair value gap. Now, when you're on the daily chart now, there's also there's this element of this outlaw here, right there. This becomes crucial because market might not really go all the way to these levels. Right? This is our OB on daily. This is our OB These are all be on a weekly chart. These are all be on daily. So these are all levels where you can be hunting for what? For short positions. When price comes here, you're hunting for short positions for market to create, say, a new low, right? Now, how then do you hunt for short positions on those levels, right? You're gonna go all the way to the bearish and then move to the downside. Once price reaches these levels here, you need to look for negative drivers of the market, like on the calendar. You see, you need to look for negative fundamental, a negative release. Look for a redistribution above, say, an old high that has been created maybe the previous session. Then you are shorting that asset based on the negative fundamental that would have what? Panned out. Now this is for next week, and you have already seen how the calendar is packed, how the calendar has got so much drivers that are there to move price. So the lower you go, right, the lower you go on H4, the clearer it becomes. You can see here we have got liquidity. That's a liquidity pool. All this level here, that's a liquidity pool. People shorting dollar, people anticipating dollar to continue to the upside. People shorting dollar, they have their stops there. Inside this inefficiency here, market is going to trade to fill up this inefficiency. And once it does, you're now looking for, say, let me just go to the calendar quickly. Can happen maybe on a Tuesday. You'll be looking for, say, negative job openings. You see? Or if it happens on a Wednesday, that price is filling up that imbalance or trading inside that weekly fair value gap. You'll be looking, say, for negative safe PMI. You'll be looking for negative non-manufacturing PMIs. You see? Not to say you must guess that manufacturing PMIs are going to come out negative. No, wait for the number to come out so that you have concrete evidence that can support your trade idea, that can support your trade model, right? So that's in a nutshell regarding dollar. If you're in the group, if you're in the mentorship, you already know what to do next. You have to break down your price action here. I've just done a rough sketch, right? You have to now do your detailed analysis, right? So I'm going to look at the other assets, right? So if we are looking for dollar to recover a bit, yeah, that means there's quite a lot of opportunities in the market. We can be looking for longs at any given time during this week. We can also be looking for shorting position, but like I've always been doing lately, I'll be giving you heads up in the group, what I did with gold during FOMC, what I did with UJ recently, and also I think USD CHF. So I'll be giving you heads up to say, guys, take note of this. We're either in discount or premium. Expect a move in whatever direction, right? Then we're going to look at Euro USD. So Euro USD is the opposite of dollar index, right? That's our weekly bearish OB on Euro. Let me remove these drawings here, right? So that's our weekly bearish. That's our weekly bullish OB on Euro. That's a weekly bullish OB. And then we also have fair value gap right here. That's a bullish fair value gap, right? This is a bullish fair value gap. And we had a run off stop, previous old high. You see, that's a run off stop. So we're anticipating a market to trade to the downside, either to fill up the imbalance or all the way to the OB. But now this is like a 2-week price action if we are going to trade back to that bullish OB. So chances are high that the weekly bullish OB, bullish fair value gap, is your ideal scenario to be hunting for what? For longs. But you can also look for shorts, you see. With dollar going back up, redistribution inside that bullish, inside that bearish fair value gap, you can be looking for shorts on Euro USD. But shorts on what? Positive news for the dollar. You see, you look for shorts. Negative news for Euro. All those manufacturing PMIs that are coming out from the Eurozone, you expect them to what? you'll be anticipating them to be negative for euro to push to the downside. See, this is a daily chart. That's the daily chart. So higher time frame wise, we're looking for longs. This is a bullish OB on the daily chart. That's a bullish OB, even though it's not a valid one. And then we also have this level here, right there. That's our old high, which price broke here and continued going to the upside. We also have a little bit of inefficiency here. Price will be attracted to that level there to fill up the inefficiency. If you decide to look for shorts, right, if it happens that market jumps to the upside, then this order block here, let me do this, then this order blocks becomes an important one if you're going to look for shorting opportunities. It could be the case that price has now created a high for some time and we're seeing the start of a reversal in these markets. You see where we are right now. We reached like $1.20 on euro. It could be a case that this is now a high that has been created on euro USD, and we're starting the birth to seeing the birth of a new downtrend. That becomes key. This daily bearish OB, it becomes key because the moment we have our opening price tonight around just after 11, I think, or just after midnight, we're going to have a fair value gap, right? That becomes key for shorts. Shorts targeting what? All this inefficiency here, targeting this discount array as your draw on liquidity. Same thing applies on pound USD. Same thing applies on Aussie dollar. Same thing applies on New Zealand dollar, right? Then when you look at USD CAD, the same thing that we explained on dollar index, whereby we'll be looking for, say, a redistribution into fair value before the continuation of the downtrend. So we've got fair value gap right here, right? We've got a fair value gap, and on Friday, what did market do? It traded below previous old low, right? Liquidity grab, right? So chances of market trading to the upside, there is better chance. Positive news for the dollar. We can see CAD pushing to the upside, though you need to take note of headline fundamentals, especially when it comes to Canada. You see, a lot is happening between Trump and Canada, so you never know what's going to happen. So I'd rather say stick to CHF or Japanese yen, right? So this is a weekly structure on CAD. We also have this old low here. Price did close below that. Now this one becomes crucial, say, for your scalps, right? This one becomes crucial for your day trades or your short-term trades. When you go next to the next lower time frame, which is our daily time frame, right? If you had to look for longs, if it's a case that dollar also has created a low for the short term, wow, this bullish OB becomes crucial, right? The same thing that I explained on Euro USD. When market opens, we are definitely going to have a fair value gap, which is why Monday's profile is important, guys. That's why I always hear I said, Monday, normally I don't get involved. I just watch and see what price is doing. If we do get a daily candle that opens from Friday's close, then we're going to have a fair value gap. And that fair value gap is going to offer us a zone where we have to hunt for, where it's easier for us to hunt for longs, right? If we are to hunt for shorts on CAD, this bearish OB becomes crucial, right? And this OB already has a fair value gap. See, right there. That's a fair value. Yeah, we're going to use Friday's high because we've already traded in. And inside that fair value gap, what do we have? This old low becomes a magnet for price. Once price reaches, say, $1.3642, you can be hunting for shorts from there because it's a premium array, an old low. Now that's a daily chart. If I go to H4 right there, you see this is H4. Look at that fair value gap. There's no reason for you not to hunt for longs if this gap is filled. There's no reason for you not to be a seller. You can be looking for shorting opportunities. Shorting what? This expansion here. You see, this whole expansion that we saw on Friday. So I'm gonna grab my fibs from high to low. This is just me defining my premium array. Look at the red lines, the red numbers. Your 79% retracement level, your 70% OTE, your 62%. That's all in premium. You see, that's a level where you can be hunting for the continuation of this down trend based on what? Negative news for the dollar, right? Negative news for the dollar. You're looking for shorting opportunities on USD CAD. Same principle applies to CHF. You just need to go to the weekly time frame. You see, same principle applies. This is basically like dollar index. You've got a bearish OB, inefficiency, fair value gap, and we've run sell stops right there to the downside. So you're defining your premium zone. If you go to the daily chart, you can see there we've got our daily bearish order block levels where you look for shorts. You've got a bullish OB there. You see, if we do get signs that dollar has created a low and it's gonna recover a bit from the drop that we have seen for the past 2 weeks, then this bullish OB becomes key for what? For longs, targeting all this inefficiency to the upside. Same applies on yen. The same principle applies. The same way we are approaching these markets, looking for shorting opportunities. This could be a high on UJ for a while. So we could get probably a reversal of what has happened recently, because these two big candles that we have seen here, see here, right here, this candle is providing what? Support. Chances are that market is going back to the upside. So where are you going to look for longs? Inside that bullish OB right here. Right here. That's your bullish OB. You can see markets clearly have got almost similar structures. This candle here, we're going to get a daily candle soon on UJ. Monday is low, then we have a fair value gap. You see, I'll keep you posted on the group. I'll send like screenshots. Then you also have this inefficiency. If you're going long here, then you're targeting market to fill up that whole inefficiency. All right. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Oh yeah, and quick note, the precious metal. Yeah, a lot of people were taken out here. I don't know if gold has created a high now, but yeah, we do have some reversal patterns on the lower time frames. You can clearly see we've got a proper swing high there. All right, so this is a daily chart. Let's go to the weekly chart. Now this is our weekly chart. We still have that imbalance there, right there at the bottom. You need to really be cautious trading gold. So this is our daily, this is our Thursday low, right? That's Thursday low. We're going to have a Monday candle here that is going to have a high. Then we now have inefficiency. For targets in terms of shorting opportunities, right here, this is target number 2. This is target number 2. Target number 1, right here. This whole section right there, that's target number 1 on the precious metal, right? So take note of Thursday's low when we go to the 4-hour time frame. Take note of that low. And you also have this fair value gap here. We also have H4 bearish order block. These are all levels where you can be a seller on precious metal, and we already have a clear reversal pattern here on the 4-hour time frame. So chances of us looking for shorts are quite ideal now, because we've had a drop, a very huge drop in the market. So you can go as low as, say, an hourly chart on the precious metal to define your PD arrays, and in this case premium arrays to support shorting opportunities, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys heading into this week. The opening is going to be very important. Market open today is going to be very important, so I would advise you to take note of that before you can participate in any positions heading into London session. So yeah, that's pretty much for this week. I'm gonna keep you guys posted in the group of any developments that I would have seen in the market, of any price action which I would want you to take note of, so that you can move forward knowing and understanding what you are supposed to do. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. And if you're not in the mentorship group, you're probably gonna see this maybe on a Wednesday or Tuesday. But yeah, for those of you who haven't subscribed to the channel, it's the right thing to do, guys. Help local YouTube creators. You can subscribe, and whenever I upload a public video, you get a notification in your mailbox, so that you can also benefit from it. Yeah, so you never know, maybe this one I'm also gonna upload it and put it public instantly. So yeah, that's one advantage of being a subscriber, and I urge you all to like, share, and comment. We can only grow together, guys, in this whole industry. I'm actually impressed that people are starting to learn quite massively when it comes to this industry. Yeah, there is a whole bunch of stigma around currency trading. There is a whole lot, but people are starting to open their eyes to what's right to do, what's not right to do in the markets. You see, a lot of us have seen a lot. People have come and gone into this industry. Like myself, I've seen a lot. People have come, people have gone. People tried the shortcuts. People got tired. People come in with the wrong mindset, and trust me, it never works. You need to put in the work if trading is going to work for yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. I wish you guys nothing but the best in the markets this week. Thank you.